welcome to another round of Ray's Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ray Mancini, here with my ace corner man, cut man, Mike Case.
Good afternoon.
And our very special guest. Today's show I'm very excited about, I can't tell you, because it's a subject matter that's going to be very controversial to a lot of people, but, and I'll give my own thoughts on it, but we have a very special guest, Vicki Jones, Miss Jones. Vicki Jones. And, you know,
comes to us from the
song, not Mrs. Jones, me.
East side of Cleveland.
Mrs.
Made her way over.
Mrs. Jones. Anyhow, Vicki is a psychic medium.
Yes.
And we've talked about that. And I'm so anxious. This is a subject matter I'm very, very intrigued with. And a lot of people out there, as we talked about, you'll be more naysayers and skeptics than people who are believers, because if I can't see it, I don't believe it type of stuff. But I think it's a fascinating subject matter, and I do believe that there are people who have this special gift. We talked about it earlier. If you think it's a gift from God, which you say you do.
Yes.
I was like Sylvia Brown's another one who I listen to, and she says it's God given. I believe, Jesus gave me this gift, and I'm very proud. So try to use it in the best possible way to help people. But you're still gonna get those skeptics out there. First the non-believers of, even if they are Catholic Christians, they are still non-believer, or of any other faith, non-believers. But if you believe, if you are a true believer, then you believe there are people who have this gift. And I do. I am a believer of that. And it ain't everybody and anybody that says they do. And I'm not we're not going to put Vicki on the spot per se, but we're going to talk to Vicki. And as you know, Vicki, I just want to know, when did you know that you had a gift?
I had a gift. I knew when I was around 5 years old. I saw my first spirit. And I told my mother about it, and she had the gift also, and she said, "You have the gift." And then I started nurturing it after that.
Okay,
my whole family started nurturing it.
Well, that's good. That's your mother had that gift too.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's good to have somebody believe in you.
Right.
Did you know your mom had the gift?
I guess at that early age, no, I didn't realize what it was, other than they said you have the gift. So, and it has to be used for good. It can't be used for anything else but good, to help people.
No, and there are many cases, and my daughter, when she was young, came upon this in California, where, they go, young girls, high school girls, they go by and walk in, tell your fortune, and then they start bleeding these people, girls for money. Well, if you don't know,
she's seen that firsthand too.
Yeah.
And my daughter, and she came in one time, and I said, no, and she was so upset because the woman, thought, oh, your father's going on a trip, but you could save him if you give me $100. So my daughter was scared. She, trying to protect me. She thought, and that's no. I told her, only God can save us. Only God, only my faith in Christ. Don't worry about that. But she was upset because the woman, or if you give me $100, and then she got some, she didn't. But she got money. My daughter felt stupid when she got older. I feel no. Young people, gullible, they prey upon people's weaknesses.
Not even just young people. I think just
older people, all ages.
Sure.
All ages.
Right. That's got to bother you.
It does. It really does.
Because that's why there's so many skeptics out there, But
you just got to be careful.
So you found this as a young girl that you had this gift. Your mom reassured you of that.
Yes.
I don't know what's the question.
Well, why wouldn't you say we have to nurture it?
Right.
What do you mean?
But just don't, try to develop it more and be aware that you have it, and just try to keep it developed and try to help people with it in different ways.
Well, it's part of the senses, right? It's everything's sensory. And they say people have the sense of smell. I smell something. You always hear this thing smells, but people say, I could smells. I could taste something on my. What are you talking about? I have it, and then all of a sudden it'll come to them in another way. I have this taste of this something. And then later on, it happened to be, that was what I was tasting in my mouth. We were someplace in a restaurant, and they go, that's what I was. What I was going to order, something they were going to order. It sounds stupid, and still, maybe I'm explaining it correctly.
Right.
But I mean, it's a sensory thing. So I'm assuming it's an extra. So it's an extra sense.
An extra sense.
And believe in sixth sense.
Dreams and things. Yes.
Oh, you believe in dreams
yes,
too? Did you see it in your dreams and stuff?
Some,
Because I dream a lot. And I believe in dreams, and I believe me, I'm not gullible. I believe that God has given many people the gift of many things.
Right.
There's
Yes,
many
God
gifts out
does
there.
give us a lot of
And
things.
so I mean, in my dreams, I believe that my brother came to me, after his passing, to let me know he was okay. And I believe that. I believe my opponent, Dooku Kim, came to me in my dreams. I believe that to let
He
me know.
did?
I believed. Oh yeah.
What happened?
It just that let me know that everything was okay. He knew that it wasn't the holding against him. It was that it was a sport. It was the battle. We were going after something, and let me know that he was okay, and they held nothing against me. And I mean, what are you gonna do? And that's why it was important. And I don't know if I maybe in your mind you want to believe it so much, or if it happened. But I believe it happened. Maybe it just gave me a sense of comfort, sense of closure.
Right, the comfort of the
Look,
closure and
I mean, look,
yes.
my father who didn't grow up in a religious household. My father didn't go to church until me and my mother. And my father every Sunday, as I was a boy. But my father said to me in the heat of battle in World War II, he believed the Virgin Mary came to him. Because he was a frontline infantryman and guys were getting killed all over. And he believed and he heard about the Virgin Mary appeared to him. He said, Raymond, I don't know if I was dreaming or what. He said, but I believe I saw her in a vision of the Virgin Mary.
Oh, I believe that
And
too.
so,
Yes.
and so my father's not a religious man, but he said, Raymond, I saw her. Now, he said, could I have been dreaming? I wasn't dreaming, but I could, was it for that moment or whatever? So these are things I do believe happen to certain people at certain times, even non-believers, but I do people who call upon Christ at times of our life when we're scared or whatever. I mean, it's a comfort thing, but you got to be open to it to
accept it.
to accept
yes.
it. So-
Got to be open to it. And a lot of times people do call on the Virgin Mary when they're in their deepest, darkest fears of things, and she comes to them. I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
she
too.
comes and helps them. Jesus comes and
I
helps
believe that.
people too.
So you found this as a young woman, and you started going. So when you're in school, we talked earlier. We were saying, do you tell people like if you feel a bad vibe or something could be happening to them? Because you always say you always try to use it for good, which I
Right,
appreciate that.
right,
You
yes.
ain't trying to. But if you feel something bad energy or negative energy that something could be happening to this person if they're going on a trip or something like Mike you were saying earlier, would you tell them not to go or?
I would just tell them, be careful. Be careful. Be careful and just be careful of everything around you and. Because people are going to do what they want to do, regardless.
Right. That's true.
You could
Absolutely.
tell them, the ship is sinking, but they're going to get on the ship anyway.
Right.
They bought the tickets, they're going to get on it,
Right.
they're going to go.
Right.
You could plead with them, and they're still going to go.
Right.
Has
so-
that ever happened?
No, I've never had that happen, but I know has happened to other mediums. They've told people
Yeah.
things, and the person keeps going anyway. And then some realize it and they don't go on the ship or on the plane or something, so.
When you were 5 and you said you were about that age when you first, tell me what you saw or how would you close your eyes or
No,
can
I was just walking in the house and I saw a man in a wheelchair rolling through the house. It was an older home that we were living in, and I went and told my mother and grandmother, and they said, you have the gift. You saw your first spirit, and told us about it. And it had been
freak
the
you out?
man that had lived in the house before. He was in a wheelchair when he passed away.
Did it scare you?
A little bit, but it was like a mist kind of thing. It was there yet not there kind of thing.
So as you've gone through school, say you're going through school from first grade on, and you don't tell people. Oh, by the way,
No, you don't tell people. No.
Obviously, I mean, it sounds a stupid question.
Right.
But I
No,
just,
some would. Some
Right.
would brag about
Yeah,
it.
I
you
never
could, right?
really
No.
told anyone
if it's a true
about
gift,
it.
if it's
Yeah.
a true gift,
Yeah, I
then
never
you know
really-
that it's used for your right purposes.
Yeah,
you're
I
going to keep
never-
it. Did you ever? So at some point, as you're going through school and people you meet and maybe girlfriends or some or people or boyfriends or a guy, it could be potential boyfriend. Then you see him, and then all of a sudden you get a bad vibe and energy or something from them that I gotta stay away from that person.
Right.
Or maybe say, oh, this could be something that could be long life. I'm sure you get good energy too. The
Yes.
good energy. Oh, this is someone I can have a long-term relationship with.
Right. Yes, you get good and bad vibes. I think a lot of people get these vibes, but they don't listen to them.
Right.
How many times have we had a gut feeling about someone, and then it really turned out to be bad or good, and we don't listen to it. If we would listen to it, that's a lot of this is listening to your inner gut feelings.
Yeah, in the inner voice, right? But I'm not impressed by people who say, "See, I knew that about him all the time, but you didn't say nothing, so shut up." They always, they always people.
Well, sometimes you can't say something.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Because you want to be polite.
You want, right? But I'm not impressed by people saying, "Yeah, but I knew that all along." But I have felt it. You could throw enough stuff against the wall and see what sticks. Right. That's what happened. Yeah, babe, you shouldn't be doing. I knew that wasn't gonna. Like, look, I always tell people, I failed more than I succeeded in business. But the shots I've taken, but I have no regrets. But I take it every shot.
Yeah.
And people always say, "Do you have any regrets?" I said, "Yeah, the only regrets I have are the shots I haven't taken."
Right. If you don't take the shots, you can't get to the goal.
That's right. Exactly. So this way. So I always tell people, "Well, I knew that wasn't gonna." Yeah, shut up, man. You didn't know nothing. If you did, you would, But people, they but like you said, true instincts, gut instincts. It's energy about a person. You ever stand next to a person, whether in a public situation, all of a sudden bad. Ooh.
Oh yeah, creepy feelings.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us have had that, where you feel creepy feelings around them. Yeah, you just
I guess you don't have to have the gift for that, but you're right. But I'm just saying.
You just kind of know something. You just don't know what it is, but you should get away from around that person.
Does it happen when you're like at the grocery store and you see someone and then someone wants to communicate with that person? Is it that simple sometimes?
It could be that simple sometimes. So I ask the spirit just to communicate with them through a dream.
Yeah.
Or something.
That way you don't have to go up and
I can't. I'm not going to go up to
you
somebody, hey, your grandmother's here.
Right.
They're going to put me in jail.
But you kind of want to, don't you?
Grandma said, "Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Buy the other.
Lay off the Oreos.
Yeah,
the
lay
other
off
type
the red
of coffee.
Meat, buy the chicken.
No, not that coffee. The other coffee."
Are the spirits, are they from, let's say we're all Catholic and we believe in heaven, just for the sake of argument.
Okay.
Are they from heaven, or are they trying to get to that place? Are they in purgatory? We talk about that.
No, they're
where are they
our
coming
relatives. They're just crossed over and they've
over,
come
right.
back to help us.
Right.
That's what I believe. They're right there, and they've come back to help us.
And what are they trying to do?
They're trying to make sure we succeed and have love in our lives, have happiness, prosperity, trying to move us forward.
Point us in the
right direction.
in the correct direction.
Yes.
Mike, I believe you believe in the guardian angels.
Yes.
I believe in guardian angels.
Yes.
When your name's Michael, you believe in the archangels.
You're archangel, true.
You can't help it.
My middle name.
Yeah.
But I believe because I find myself, and this is true, I find myself going around the house at times. I think of my mother, and I find myself talking to my mother like she's next to me, and I'm in a conversation with her, which is. It would be eerie if you don't, but I believe my mother is a guardian angel for me, over my children. And I talked to her and I asked her to please, pray for my children and watch over my kids, and as my father and my brother too. But my mother, because my mother was, that's being a mother, right?
Right.
So, but I believe, that she hears me and tries to help what I ask of her.
Do they hear us?
Yes, they hear us.
All the time, or
Yes.
only when they're paying attention?
Well,
or?
they can hear you
Mike,
all
Mike,
the
you're
time.
being a smart ass. I love
No,
that.
no,
Mike.
I'm serious.
I know you are.
No, I'm not.
Mike said only when they're paying
Just- I
attention.
wanna know.
They didn't pay attention to me when they were here on Earth. Why would they pay attention to me when they're heaven?
That's funny. I didn't think of that. But I mean, I would think it's such a vast
They can
place
hear
that maybe
you.
they're sometimes they're so far away.
some, whenever they're around, they can hear you. They may be on other missions with other relatives.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they may go to your brother or your sister, but they're there to help you. They are.
Are they ghosts or spirits?
They're just
or-
spirit coming in. They're your ancestors coming in.
I mean, would a ghost be a spirit that's becomes visible, like you said, in this cloud of smoke or something? Would that be considered a ghost?
That's would
but
be
it's still
what
a spirit.
we call a ghost. Yeah.
It's
People
funny 'cause
have
you-
seen ghosts.
Right, I believe
yeah.
that you see the premonition of something, outline
Right.
of something. You see that in pictures. I believe in those pictures. Especially Virgin Mary, they see the outline
Or
of the things. Virgin
halo
Mary halo. I
around
believe in that,
somebody.
of course. 'Cause that ain't just by chance. I think there's people who have have a lot of faith that are spiritual people that pray to Virgin Mary, and somehow maybe it's the way of letting them know that she's there. It's funny because you ever see the commercial? It's kind of funny. I forgot what the commercial is. I'm a spirit. I'm a spirit. What's it? They go, yeah. I forget.
I've seen the one where they.
Yeah.
Twix, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny how some people say I'm a spirit,
Okay.
and you're a what's the other thing? Yeah,
Spectre.
you're a ghost. I'm a spirit.
Oh, okay.
People say you're a ghost. I'm a spirit. And they go through this whole, and it's actually pretty funny, But it's what people would call, what I was getting to, it's what people call certain things. There's usually 2 or 3 names but it's meaning the same thing.
Right.
So when you visit groups now, you do rooms and stuff.
Yeah,
and you
I
go
do
see
rooms. I go.
Give me some instances where like you really touched some people, or do you ever get emotional too?
Oh yes, I do. Yeah, their parents come through, and they talk to the children, wanting them to do certain things, and maybe they don't like how they were buried in the cemetery, or they're not visiting them enough. It's different things for everybody, or why they sold a car, or why they didn't give a car to their brother or something. So it could be anything and everything when we go out and do readings. And
So
I do a
sometimes they're
lot
not
of
happy
readings.
about what we've done, and they want us to know about it.
Right.
Well, it's
They
funny.
come through
It's
and
funny you said about going to visit visit a group, because I say I'm not the best. I always say my intention. I've done visit my parents, and my brother at the and I'm not the best at, but I'm always thinking, praying to them, for them, and talking to them on a daily basis.
Right,
So
right.
I'm hoping that's gonna suffice.
Should we pray for them?
Yes, why not?
Why? It seems like they're in a pretty good place.
Well, no, I pray for them, but ask for them to pray for us.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
That I get.
We need prayer every day. We need to pray, all of us.
Now I heard that, and I asked you this before.
Yes.
That my mom went to a psychic medium, and I'm going to have you explain what a psychic and a medium are in just a second. But she told my mother that at calling hours, the person in the coffin, their spirit is actually there, and at the end of the coffin, kind of sitting on the coffin sometimes, listening to what people say about them at their own calling hours.
I've heard that many times, and any funerals that I've gone to as a reverend, I have seen the person standing there, and sometimes they'll comment on the clothes somebody may be wearing, or they'll want to know where their other son may be, but they're there. They're there. I mean, they're there.
Spirit. Well, if we believe.
In spirit. Yeah, if you believe, they're there. So you could possibly talk to them, so they're watching the funeral as it's going on. A lot of times in the hospital, when somebody's right before they cross over, they'll be standing outside the body of the person, of their own body, waiting to cross, and they'll come back and they'll say, I saw so-and-so that has passed. They might have saw their husband or someone, that is going to take them to heaven.
Well, it's funny you said it, because you always hear people say that they've left their body and come back. It wasn't their time. They said they weren't ready for me yet, or God. And I thought that was always interesting, because feeling, and like you said, people at funerals, you always pray and hope that for the person's spirit and stuff. But we believe, as a Catholic Christian, you believe that the moment we die, our spirit is risen. It rises to go be with God. Now, you always hear when you're talking about, you're saying, like, you always hear that some people that, and that's the term, you crossed over.
You crossed over.
When people say you crossed over.
You've gone home.
But a lot of people say that like you said, that have come back, because they say, they weren't ready to cross over yet. Well, maybe that's in the sense that maybe it's a purgatory or that. But that was always, I've heard but there's always that, they say they're in a state of, I've heard the term. I don't know.
Limbo?
They're in limbo,
Yeah.
right? Because they haven't crossed over yet. And maybe that's God's calling them, but they're still needed here or whatever. I don't know. That's obviously God's choice, not ours. But I've heard that several times. We believe spirit rises to cross over, and then at that point, when to meet God. Never, but it was always intrigues me that, like you said, people believe our spirit is there, whether it's at the funeral or maybe at the mass, to see who's there, who's not there. That's intriguing. I mean,
Yes.
Do spirits ever get punished before they get to the crossing over part?
Not that I know of. I've run into spirits that have died in car accidents that don't realize they've crossed over. They don't know they've gone. They still think they're on this earth plane. They're in shock. A car accident happens. They've crossed over, yet they don't know they're crossed over. So we kind of have to ask them, to look for some relatives and things to help them, or go to the light, or that's happened numerous times where someone has just died and they didn't realize they'd died.
And they're how are you finding that out? You're not at the accident scene.
No.
Okay.
No. What happens is some of those spirits will come to mediums and ask for help. Believe it or not, they call that rescue work. And they'll come to us, and we have to kind of hold their hand and try to find a relative to take them over to heaven. I know it sounds strange, but
because these are complete strangers
they're
to you.
complete strangers. In the medium world, it's called rescue work. And you'll run into a medium that may be exhausted, haven't had any sleep and they'll be like, well, I've been doing rescue work because somebody's come to you. And what are you going to do if you've had somebody come to you and they need to get to the next side, cross over? You've got to help them. You've got to help them get over there.
Huh.
You know.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And
when you say they're coming through, what are you seeing?
They're coming through like a veil, like a mist.
Like they
a mist.
appear?
Some appear, some just whisper. You just kind of feel them there. They're just there, and you know it. You just know it. They're there.
And you can see them? You can see what they look like?
You can sometimes see them. You feel them. It depends what type of medium you are. There's different types. Everybody has different senses about things. But you just sort of know they're there. You know your father is there. You know that the person's mother is around, or brother, or nephew is around, and you just know it. You've been working with this for so many years. You just know it. And also before you go out, you do your prayers and things and ask for the person's relatives to come through for you or for anyone in this room. So we've asked, I've asked all week, we need the people to be here so we can help somebody here today.
Well, then, yeah, that's.
Do you see anybody?
Well,
are you want to help anyone in?
Well, I was going to ask you,
in this general area.
I was going to ask because you always say I don't want to put anybody to the test because but I always said, like, for me, maybe it's when my brother passed, obviously I was away, and then that was that was the whole thing, and it was a very tragic thing for me. But I was wondering, when he passed, and since then, if he had been at peace with him, because he was going through a troubled time. But then he said, a lot of people said, friends of his, close friends of his, said, he was reading the Bible a lot. He was asking questions, which made me feel some point that I believe, he was having believed. He was going back to his faith, for whatever reason. So I was, I don't know, I hate to say this, but you say, but I always feel he was with me. I hope he's with me in spirit, and I don't know if I guess it's a weird question. Is he saying
what is the question?
Well, I don't know if there's a question there.
He's saying, what was it? He's coming through and he's saying, I love you. I don't want you to think that I never stopped loving you.
Well, I appreciate it. No,
and
I
he
knew
remembers when you were boys playing out in the back, and there's tomato plants and stuff like that. He's showing me gardens and things. But he just wants to tell you he loves you. And he's with you every day because you're exciting. He says there's always something going on, and I'm not going to sit around over here. I'm going to go with you everywhere you're going because you've got things going on.
Well, I always said if things went, it was only a matter of a couple of months before my career started taking off, and he would have been with me the whole time, And I always just said, Jesus, man, if he could held on,
You got to realize he was with you every day, every day of your life.
I'm sure of that, and I'm sure of that, and I felt that. But that was the thing. I always want, like, he would have been with me in training, physically with me in training camp and stuff like that. But that didn't happen. So, but I guess I always wondered because I wasn't there and how he died. That my mother had bad. I mean, I guess here's the question. Some said it was, supposedly it was a so-called accident. It was accidentally shot by his ex-girlfriend, well, the girlfriend he was at then. But there's a lot of skeptics. She was, a biker chick. She was, the biker guys. They were telling my brother they want him to pay for the girl. Basically, white slavery. They were white slavery, and he said, "She ain't paying for nobody." That type of stuff, And then the circumstances of his death have been very. but I haven't pursued it. And the policeman asked me, the detectives, would you want us to? And I
Was
said,
the
no, because
shot
don't bring
in
them back.
in this area?
No, it was in the back of the head. Back of the head.
Was there somebody else that had stomach problems? Do you have other issues other than that?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that, I mean, I'm saying he couldn't have, but not that I know of. There was stomach issues. But I guess I was wondering.
Because not many people get accidentally shot in the back of the head.
No.
Well, that's
no.
I mean,
Is that what you're saying?
circumstances.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the circumstances, the way it came up, and how it went down. I've always been skeptical. And even the detectives said, Raymond, it don't sit right. They
Right.
said we can go into this. I said no.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to put my parents through that.
Right.
And then don't bring them back.
That's where I'm picking up. Your mother was very sick over the whole
And
thing.
I said, oh, absolutely. And parents never fully recover.
Right.
They know that
right.
piece is gone
That's
forever.
what I'm picking up. you know.
But I didn't want to put them through it. And I said, don't bring them back. So why? Why go through that? Don't bring them back. And it don't matter the circumstances. I got the general circumstances, though there was still some questionable things. So what? I don't bring them back. But I guess that was the biggest thing. I think that I always wondered, and to be at peace. But then I go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bring them back. So these are, I guess you could ask questions, but the old saying is, you ask the question, you better prepare for the answer.
Right.
Right. I'm just seeing there was a lot of confusion that night, and just a lot of things going on, and there were other guns going off at the time, and somehow it was an accident.
Well,
That's what I'm seeing.
yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean-
seeing a lot of things going on.
The people wondering when he was shot, because his girlfriend said she accidentally shot because he was showing her to use a gun because she was feeling threatened. Then there's other people that she leave the door open for somebody to come in because they told her, "We'll kill you if you don't kill him," or was it an
Oh, how
accident?
awful
All
for
these
them.
things. Or I mean, there's so many. And again, it didn't matter. It don't. I'm not concerned about that. So but I wanted to make sure. But then you wonder, well.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing a lot of confusion that night, and just a lot of, because it seems dark to me when it happened, and there's just a lot of guns going off, and one hit him somehow.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, there you go. I mean, like I said, I appreciate that because
You're welcome.
But just
That's
still,
all I'm picking
but
up.
I made peace with it a long time ago, and you got to,
He's also saying that's the way it was supposed to be. He knew that's how it was going to happen.
Mike, don't you have any questions you
I
like?
don't really have anyone close to me that passed away.
No.
Oh, okay.
Any
okay.
friends? or
I
anything?
have
People you
a
wonder?
grandmother on my dad's side and a grandfather on my mom's side, and that's really it. None of my friends have died. None of my
Thank God.
siblings have
Thank
died.
God.
Well,
My
thank
parents
goodness, yes.
are still
yes.
around, so I don't have anyone that I
No, I
think
gotcha.
would
Okay.
want to visit
Okay.
me
No, I got you. No.
Yeah.
that I was close with.
Well, you got
Okay.
people that are alive that don't want to visit you. Why
I
would
know.
anybody dead want to visit you?
That's actually very
Oh,
true.
boy.
Very true. So the difference between a psychic and a medium.
Okay, a psychic is a person that mostly reads the aura and your emotions. A medium actually connects with spirits from the other side.
And you have the gift to be able to do
Right, to do both.
Both
you know.
things.
But most people want to connect with spirits from the other side, their loved ones and ancestors.
Yeah. Has it ever happened where it kind of freaked you out a little bit?
Some,
Can you think of any times?
just a few times when someone said they were bit by a spider. I remember one time I was reading someone, and they this big spider came in spirit, and she said that's what it looked like. It was like a really big spider, and she was reliving it. So that was kind of freaky. That was really
Yeah, that'll
strange.
freak you out.
Yeah, that was strange, and then it disappeared. But there's been some strange things happen. Like I was telling you earlier, I was reading for this lady at a party, and I said, "Your mother's here," and she just started swearing at her mother. I mean, it was the craziest thing, yelling and screaming at her mother, and her mother was like, "I got it, I'm leaving." And I said, well, your mother's gone now. Don't worry. I mean.
So quit it.
Yeah, quit it already.
And then you said you do some ghost busting too?
Yeah, we go out and do ghost busting with Reverend Carol. We go out and do house blessings and ghost busting. Now that is another interesting thing we've gotten into. It started out with doing house blessings, and
just in case. Is that when people have you come over?
Priests come over and bless it. Yeah,
bless the house.
I never heard such thing.
So somebody called us. They hadn't been able to sell a commercial building in Cleveland, and we went out, and it was down in Cleveland, and it was an old place, an old building, and we heard ghosts in there, and the one guy got scared. He ran out. He says, I'm out of here. I hear they were making noises, ooh, like that, like real ghosts. And I thought, somebody's got a tape recorder or something in here. Why would they have ghosts, So then the spirits started showing up, and it had been a gay bar in Cleveland in the 90s, a real hopping joint. And they said to me, yeah, this was a gay bar. When I owned it, it was a gay bar. And all of a sudden, all these spirits started showing up. We had entertainers that were men dressed like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis, and we had
people dressed up like the village people.
Yeah, the different people, all sorts of people were in this bar, and the ghosts that they thought were there weren't there. But we kept blessing it, and we used sage, to kind of get the. Anyway, there was a lot of ghost spirits around the bar, and I was telling the owner, who we saw, and I said, the bookkeeper's here, and he said, yes, I know who that is. He named her, and he says, oh my God, I hope the bookkeeper didn't give my secrets to my other two partners. And the bookkeeper in spirit put her finger up to her lips and said, don't tell him. So she must have gave the secrets away. So then down at the end of the bar was a man in a suit in spirit. And I said, there's a man in a suit down here. He's having a mixed drink, Oh, that's Phil. Phil he's a made man. He keeps saying he's a made man. He's never going to leave this. Well, everybody knows what a made man. So I took a little broom and kind of pushed him out the front door. I said, you got to go until we sell this building. I mean, what are you going to do? Please leave until the building gets sold. So we said in April it was sold, and it did sell in April. So we were on the ghost busting trail now. It's been a exciting, interesting thing.
Do spirits listen to you, or do they give you a big spirit middle finger?
They give you a big spirit.
We're not going anywhere.
Those ones that are
stuck.
Yeah, they do. They're like, I want to stay here. I'm not going. I'm staying. Well, we've got to go for a little while. Can't you go down to the bar next door or something?
Yeah.
And visit there for a while until.
I mean, you ever wonder, like I have my children and the occupation they chosen. So want them to be successful, but you want to follow their passion. But choose a profession that's you always. I always wonder. I think like that. You always wonder, wow,
did they make the right choice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How
could they do better?
Or not that? If it's a passion, then I think I tell them you're going to succeed. Don't worry about the money. Money comes if you're good at what you do, no matter what it is.
Right.
Money comes.
Right.
That's you do money. Make money if you're good at what you do. But have a passion for it. So if you do it for now, because you've been doing it for a long time, God willing,
Right.
So
right.
that's the whole thing, as I always say. So I was, that's the one thing I did was one of my children. For my children, are they following their passion? And if they are, I hope they will be. You hope to be successful. Pray and hope. But if you believe, they will be successful. I believe they'll be successful because they're following their passion. And if you're passionate, don't be too many people are passionate about anything.
Right.
So if you have that passion, you got to be successful. For me, I believe that.
Right, I believe that too, because then you will never work a day in your life.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yes, I feel. Do you have two children?
Three.
Who's the tallest of the three?
Well, my two boys are about the same height.
Okay,
they're about the same height.
Okay, the older one. I feel he's going to be coming into something new, and it's going to be really exciting for him.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it.
Very new, very exciting. Some travel involved. I don't know if he travels now, but
yeah, he does. He does. Okay, so I mean, he's gone to Europe and packed through Europe before, but that was before a couple of years ago. But
yeah, I think there's a lot of travel involved, and more than there was. I just feel a lot more money coming in from this new adventure.
Beautiful.
New
Beautiful.
adventure. And
That's a
it's-
good thing.
it has-
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Do you have grandchildren?
No.
Okay. You don't be surprised. There's some coming waiting to come through.
Let's hold
That
off
would
on.
be a
Well,
surprise.
my daughter's her and her boyfriend. They've been talking about marriage, and they've been going.
Yeah.
And she's So I mean, if it happens,
It'll be a few
know,
years. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now my wife, her daughter's pregnant. And gonna be she's gonna have her first grandchild in December.
Okay.
In December, so we'll be in the
Okay.
family, though it's not my direct blood, but it's
Right. So there's the baby coming.
yeah,
through.
coming in December
Okay,
for her.
Okay.
For us.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah. But I believe if you have you have faith, you rely on your faith, and you say your prayers, and you rely on Christ, and you believe in faith as being
Right.
being sure of what you do not see, being sure of what you
Right, yes.
Sure of what you do not see, and hopeful for the things to come. That's what I believe. So these are why when I say my prayer, people always act like, oh, do you think it would happen? Yeah, man. Yeah, like what I always told people, like when I became world champion, writers say, did you really think you'd become world champion? I said, yeah, because I used to dream about it. When I was a kid, 10 years old, I used to see myself carrying a belt over my head. Now, psychologists have this fancy thing called positive mental visualization.
Right.
I said, hell, man, I always thought it was called dreaming.
Yes. Or vision boards. We do vision
Yeah,
boards,
yeah.
and we put the thing up in front of you. You want that new car? You
Right.
got to put it out there so
Or
everybody
they
knows.
tell people the saying now is if you can conceive it, if you can conceive it, if your mind can conceive it, your body can achieve it. I can be whatever I want to be. Those are some the mantras you say, right? If I believe and I can conceive, I can receive.
Right.
That's what
Yes,
people
I
say.
believe the
So
same
there's all
thing.
these different things now. But you got to believe in what you want. You got to believe and see it, visually see it, and then becomes
Yes, I believe that too.
and then becomes a reality.
Yes. We need more positive thinking in this world today, and more thinking we're going to make it. We're going to be moving ahead. Leave the negative stuff in the garbage can.
Mike, I hear a lot of kids say, my son says that, but it's I don't want to say it's a new age thing, but I think he's gotten to himself, really got into my older son, into more the spirituality, and he reads a lot, and listens to a lot of Christian speakers as well as other speakers, not just Christian speakers, the other speakers, motivational speakers, and all that. But he's always talking about the good energy, Pop, and I'm trying to stay away from too much negative energy to him. But I get it, it's just energy vibe, but it's that feeling you get that this person is not good for me in my life. I don't need this in my life. I need
this thing or this job or this
right.
whatever it is.
But you keep going with the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing. Yes.
Right. Well, what's
positive energy. Yes,
Right.
everything is energy.
You always hear that what they say was you always hear was the definition of insanity.
Doing the same thing over and
over
over,
and over,
expecting
expecting
a
different result.
That's right.
Yes.
And I go, and my wife says that to me a lot of times. I go, no, the difference is I believe it's good. See, it's easy to say that when things ain't happening in reality, but if your heart you believe, and I believe God gives reasons, it ain't gonna be in your time. It's gonna be at the right time. God,
It's on His timeline. It's
that's
not
right.
on ours.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what they say, God says, God may never be early, but He's never late. He may not always be early, but He's never late.
Right.
So you believe that faith. And I said, no, because if people could tell you that, don't insanity, it's insanity. Yeah, sounds good, because you ain't never done it. You ain't never achieved it. See, I'm
Or
the guy
even
who was
tried.
but I'm the guy who believed in when I was a kid what I would achieve, and it wasn't the easiest thing to say. We come from Youngstown, Ohio, that I want to be a fighter and world champion for my father. Cute little boy says that, ain't that cute? That's what I used to get. Okay, so that's why I know what dreams do come true, but the dreams come true when you make it a reality, and that's what we have to bring it reality, make it a
Yes.
reality. It ain't just gonna happen. People always say that, I sat there and I was wishing I want to be a world champion. It just didn't happen. Yeah, see, no shit, because you sit there and you do nothing. That's how life works. You do nothing, you get nothing out of it.
Right.
Did I just make us an R-rated show?
No, I don't think.
I don't
My
think so.
my
Right
bad.
over, but
My
yeah.
bad.
Are you able to? You remember you talked about the medium that was doing her rescue work,
Yes.
and she was exhausted.
Yes.
Are you able just to turn it off for the day
Yeah,
and
yes.
get some rest?
Oh yes.
Or is it always just like
No, it's
firing?
around. It's around, but I just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Right.
I'm on the nod. I'm on the.
Yeah, you
I've
just
been on the
don't pay
clock all
attention
day.
to it.
Like,
You just turn it off.
like when
Kinda
you're
like-
driving, you
Yeah,
don't
you
want
don't-
somebody.
Right. It was kind of like me with Mike. I just don't want to turn it
No,
off.
he's turned me off for
Just
years.
turn him off. When
yeah,
the
you just turn it
show's
off
over,
and
okay,
turn it
Mike.
Peace out, Mike. Yeah. So give me some other instances where you were just kind of floored by something.
There has been so many. I had a woman that didn't believe. I had this party every month. I would go every month, and there was a woman there. All the other ladies, it was a pottery thing. They made pottery, and the ladies would be making their pottery and come over to me for a reading. And the one woman said, I don't believe in this stuff. I'm not coming over. I'm not doing it. I'm not. So every month I'd go out, and she'd sit by herself. And finally she says, you know what? I'm going to do it today. So she sits down I read tea leaves. I'm reading tea leaves. So she sits down with me, and I says to her, I got this really bad pain in my foot. I said, what's the pain in your foot? What's going on with your foot? Because that's sometimes how it comes through. Oh, nobody knows about that. I got bit by a stingray, and my foot is in such pain all the time. And then we talked about that, and she loosened up, and that was kind of strange, that was kind of strange. And then I had another party at a home, and they didn't believe in, and none of them believed, or they were scared to come in and see me. So the woman of the house said, you know what, I'll go in. There were some other people there doing massage and stuff, and they thought, well, we'll bring Vicki along just for some funnies, So I was there reading tea leaves, and nobody would come in. So finally the woman that owned the house came in, and she sat down with me, and I said, what's the story on the pet chicken? Who's got the pet chicken? Oh, that's my husband. He's got the pet chicken, and the pet chicken wants to sleep with us at night, and I won't have it. I won't have the chicken sleeping with us. I've had it.
Well, I'm glad she said so.
She went out and she told all the ladies she knows about the pet chicken. I'm like, that was nuts.
That is nuts.
That's crazy.
Is it good to, like, if you were doing a reading on me, is it good to kind of play along and say, oh yeah, I have a little brother or whatever, or should you sit quietly?
You should just tell me what's going on
and just say yes or no to your questions.
Yes or no, or because we're trying to get you some answers to things that you might need answers to, or
I see.
Trying to help you somehow, and you just don't want to.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like a counseling session, I call it. I said it's a lot of the people come to me. Some of them are unchurched, haven't been to church in years, and they come to me and talk to me about things they have issues with, and I call it more like counseling, and I ask them to go to church, but they're like, I'm not going back there. So they come to me instead of maybe going to someone else,
Yeah. Well, you're a reverend.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
you are? I did not know that.
And they'll come to me for some of the other mediums and talk it out. They'll talk out their problems.
Well, now, Vicki, I got to tell you, you threw me off. You just threw me off a little bit when you said with the tea leaves.
Yes.
Because that seems a lot of. They do
How do you even do that?
Well, I don't, and the things I hear tea leaves and stuff. Look at the leaves because look, my children are Cuban, so their grandmother was big into Santeria.
Okay.
No, I should say
Yeah.
she wasn't a Santera. She wasn't,
Okay.
but she believed in Santeria. She
Okay.
believed in it,
Okay.
and she'd go there, and they do a lot of stuff with the tea. And I'm thinking, well, see, one thing is when you're saying I get vibes from someone like when I hear Sylvia Brown or something. I hear you were talking earlier. You're talking about the vibes. You get
Right,
people
the
crossed over.
vibes, yes.
But when you see cards or the tea leaf, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. What's the tea leaf going to tell you?
Well,
I don't
the
understand
tea
Yeah, how does that
leaves
work?
that. So that
are-
makes me think like, that would make me say, cards, tea leaves, I'm
Well,
not,
what happens is people believe a certain way. I can give them a reading without anything, but they want to be entertained. People come to me.
Well, if you tell me if somebody's talking to me from the other side, that's entertaining.
Well,
They
yeah.
ain't got to entertain me a
So,
whole lot more.
I-
That,
You
that,
need a
that- you got
card
me. You got
with
me.
a wizard on it.
They kind of find it unique that they'll go to somebody that reads cards. They'll go to someone that maybe reads dice or something. And I started reading tea leaves, which I really just do the leaves, and then I tell them what I see, what I feel about them.
So you're not really looking at the
I'm
leaves.
not really looking at the leaves.
Okay. I was going to say,
honestly-
can you teach someone to read tea leaves?
Yes, I could teach
it's
anyone to read
entertainment
tea
value
leaves.
that we're
Yeah,
doing.
so we're
So it's-
entertaining you with.
How about this? Why don't you just?
Ah.
I know. See, I
Okay.
try to make a joke. Just wear a red ball on your
I mean,
nose.
you-
You're entertaining them.
Can you teach someone to read the cards?
Chuckles the clown. Yeah,
Yes,
but I'll
you
tell you
can-
what you want to hear.
there's
No, I
lots
don't
of-
mean no.
there's
So
lots of
you're doing a
classes.
reading anyhow.
Right,
And-
I'm
and
doing,
you're
and that's
looking at
just,
the-
yeah, we're just looking at the leaves and giving
that's
them a
good to know.
reading.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because what I'm saying is when I was saying earlier, but when people believe in like when the Santeria and they read stuff, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
believe the Santeros can read that, and so from certain ethnicities they have they believe in certain the Hispanic
There's like
believe in
African,
Santeria,
yeah,
the
there's
African
African
Santeria,
gods and things.
right?
Yeah,
So I and that that's whether you believe that or not, I don't. That's my but that's my faith tells
I
me
don't know
otherwise.
much about
But
that at
no,
all.
but I'm saying a lot of us though they read tea leaves and they read certain things. And I go, oh, okay, well that's but I would never denounce or to talk that this is the crazy people crazy. No, never. That's whatever they think, maybe some of the times it's come through. But I believe if people if there's like yourself, people who have this gift, and they use it for good to help others, and then and I believe that you get it's like we had a couple weeks ago we had a gentleman who is a UFO expert.
Okay.
Who worked for the government.
Okay.
And I believe in UFOs because I said I believe that you have to be pretty naive to think in this entire universe, entire galaxy that where we are considered a speck by all we're a speck. That there's no other living force, there's no other living beings but us.
Right.
That's
right.
pretty naive, I would like to think.
I would think so.
And
Yes,
I think there's been
yeah.
enough. I believe there's been enough examples through the years. Like for instance, the pyramids. The pyramids are symmetrically perfect on all
Right.
sides.
And
These-
really
and-
heavy.
And
And
heavy.
and they
And they're
they said there's-
big.
each of these stones were hundreds of tons.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you got
yes.
these muscle guys pulling up by by,
With a rope?
by
Can
rope.
you imagine?
Stop,
Which they
man.
didn't even have rope.
Right, exactly. The rope they pull up by rope, and we just get it, and they built it in 20 years, or 25, whatever. That would take 1,000 years to build something like that. And then they believe that there's those who believe that there's those from outside, alien forces that have come and help create this.
create,
How could
yeah.
you not? It wasn't even off. It's off like a little bit. I built a bench when I was in high school. And I run into my a shop teacher all the time now, and I tell him, I still got that bench. It wobbles like crazy, but it's still there. I got it. My point being is, nothing symmetrically is
You're
perfect.
smarter than they were.
Come on, man.
You're
Stop.
smarter
Yeah,
than the
I mean,
Egyptians.
That's what I'm saying. That believe that there's no outside forces that make it symmetrically perfect.
Right.
Come on,
Right.
stop.
There's something.
And,
we just
you
don't know what
so,
it is.
So these are things I've said. Believe that we're. So he was interesting. I believe outside forces. I believe in. I believe in spirits. I believe in we'll go spirits. I believe those spirits that come to us that don't cross over. I believe in this. I do, and but those who have the power to, I believe in it too. But I think also, I mean, a lot of stuff. Generalities. People say speak in generalities, so that's why people are skeptics. Maybe it's in general. Oh, anybody can say that. I mean, I'm certain people. I'm assuming you get specific with them, with certain people.
Certain
specific.
people with certain things come in better, for other. Depends how it is, things come in a lot better for some and not for others, just if people didn't believe it here, they may not believe it when they get over there, so they're not going to come back and help,
Can you tell your own future?
Not really.
Why not?
A little bit.
I mean,
but
that doesn't
not-
seem fair, does it?
Yeah, a little bit, but not a lot.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Well, some people may have to give for others, don't have to give, but they sense
Right,
for
yeah.
themselves. I
kind of
know.
know, things. You just kind of sense things, and you
Yeah.
just sort of go with the flow.
I know what he's saying, though. He's saying that, like, if I'm doing a magic trick with you, and you have all the red cards in one hand and all the black cards, and you say, pick which one you want, and then but I know I want you to pick the black. You say the red, and I say, okay, I'll put that away, and to keep the black out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You could start there. I'm sure there are some fakes out there
Oh,
that
yeah.
start real general and just kind of piece away at it and eventually come up with something that blows somebody's mind, and they really don't have the gift. Is that what you're asking?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that could
no,
be a
no,
mind
no. I
reader.
mean, I do know that. I agree with that.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
I don't know. I'm not asking. I think people. I'm just. Those are. I've seen that. I've seen that in places. Also, but I'll tell you. I've been by some card tricks that blew me away, and you go, oh man.
Right.
There's
No,
some
they
people
all
that
blow
get-
me away.
Right.
And,
That's
and
the
people got,
magicians and
right. And these guys who do the mind reading, or you see them on America's Got Talent, and they're doing something, and all of a sudden,
Yeah. Oh, and here's a little piece of
they
paper
pick-
that says
they pick that-
teddy bear on it, and you,
I
and
love
you said
that.
that.
I'll
You're
have
gonna
to
pick
watch
a number,
that.
and all of a sudden
Yeah.
they go through the whole thing, and all of a sudden
The
hold on,
mentalist,
and then
they
they cut
call
through a watermelon,
Yeah.
and the paper stack.
Right.
That
Right. It blows
Yeah.
you away.
I
Blows
don't
me
do any of
away.
that
But that's a
watermelon
trick.
stuff. But yeah,
that is a
That's a
trick.
trick.
How,
I don't do any of that.
How did that happen?
Right. So I'm sure there are a lot of skeptics out
Oh,
there that
there
think,
are a lot of skeptics.
or fake people that
right?
can pull
Yes.
that off.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there are a lot of dumb people out
Oh
there too.
yeah, there's all kinds of people wanting answers to things, and they'll go and try to get answers to things, in any means, any way,
Are we going to read me, or are we just going to talk about Ray the whole time?
No, I mean,
We're running out of time, aren't we?
yeah, because
It's almost 2:30 already.
Oh boy, that
You got
was fast.
anything for me at all?
Just some changes coming. Were you thinking of moving?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there's some movement forward for you. I see some money coming in for you. I don't see any money going out. I see more money coming in. I see large bills coming in for you.
Okay.
And take any opportunity that comes along is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Well, that's
Okay.
way better than yours.
you ain't lying, man. You ain't lying.
What else you got? We're on a roll.
I see that you were offered something, but you haven't decided about it.
Not
Think
that I
about
can think
it.
of.
Okay, there's an offer coming.
Okay.
There's something coming for you.
Okay.
Okay, and
Occupation-wise?
occupation. Yeah, I believe it's occupation. Yes.
Okay.
And you've got think about it, but remember, it's been given to you as a gift. So think about it not too long before you decide, because it might give it to somebody else.
Yeah, well, like him.
I'm taking over.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just gonna be me and Lauren. We're taking over.
The
Mike,
Bliss marketing
you're out.
team.
Somebody from school is going to help you with this. A Frank or a Fred, an F name. Could be
Okay.
a last name.
Okay.
They're going to help you move forward with something.
In life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's money, a lot of money.
Grade
coming.
school, high school, college, just some school.
Just some school, yeah. Because you told me your schools before, so I don't want to really. I just saw somebody from school.
Okay.
From school, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Louise have any meaning to you or your wife?
Don't know one.
Okay, well, think about that name. Maybe
Louise.
You might go
Every
back a
little
couple
breeze.
generations.
Oh, you're saying it's someone in my past?
Yeah, somebody in the past, an L name.
Hmm.
Okay, so keep that in mind
Okay.
for later.
And what
But-
do I want to know about them?
They're helping you with this movement forward.
Mike, always
Yeah.
remember every little breeze.
Movement forward. Could
whispers
be an L
Louise.
name, a last name too. It could be a last name. But
Okay.
yeah, just keep positive. Some days,
'Cause
you
you're
know,
the most
just
negative
keep,
guy I
gotta
know, man.
keep
Jeez, oh,
positive
man.
is
Dude,
what
you
I
have no
mean.
idea.
Got to keep positive.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
leave
pretty
that with
positive
you.
for all the crap that's going on in my life.
Goodness.
All right, good. See? That went pretty well.
Good.
Is that
good.
it, or
Yeah, that's it. I'll
Can't think of
leave that
anything
with
else?
you. Yeah, just some money coming.
if you have anything else later today, maybe shoot me a text.
Okay, I will.
That'd be great.
I'll send
Well,
it
yeah,
to
or an
you.
email.
Well, she's
Yeah,
gone.
email.
The vibe is gone.
Oh, is that it?
There's no vibe. There's
Like
no
I won't.
energy.
I can't pop up later on.
Nah, don't work like that. Huh?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I was gonna say so many. Jesus, Vicki, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this. And now, unfortunately, we have to cut
I
it
know.
today.
Thank
Well,
you
let's
for having
promote
me.
how people can get a hold of you, Vicki. Is that
Well,
all
they
right?
can look up our Facebook, the Reverends, Vicki Ray and Carol Lynn, or they can call me, or email me.
Yeah,
And you have the
let's
email.
do that.
Yeah.
Or the
Let's
Facebook.
give it
Or
out
the
there so
Facebook.
people can call.
And we're going to put it up on our
put
page
it on,
too.
Okay.
on our show.
I don't think you
Okay.
want giving your phone
No,
number.
no,
out.
no.
You know how the
no.
creeps that
Am
listen
I-
to this program.
But if anybody's interested, please about what you thought today's show, because I'm always intrigued with this. Please, hit us up on Facebook and let us know if you are first and foremost. I always say we want to make this show educational.
Right.
Inspirational.
Yes.
But
Inspirational.
more than anything, entertaining. Got to be entertaining.
You
Why
get
if not? Why are we doing it? I was entertained today. I truly was.
Good.
And you were terrific. And I'd love to have you back. And there's things I want to ask you, and then I go, it's not appropriate. It's just not appropriate because, I'm a firm believer. We create our own destiny. I believe that, we are the power of our destinies in our hands. I believe that our lives are written. I believe they're predestined. I do believe that. My faith tells me that. But we have, so I don't want to say, people have a tendency to think, is this going to happen? That's going to happen. Power's in within your hands.
Right.
The power's in within you, and the power of God through God. If you believe, receive. People say, if it's predestined, why work? It's just going to happen anyway. No, because God tells us you get a chance to change your destiny if you. But He knows you're going to do that anyhow, or you're not going to do that. Because that's what I'm saying. If you have a strong enough faith, you have this ability to change things that would happen to you.
Right. I believe that too. And God
so,
only gives you what you need
right.
when you need it.
Yeah.
It might be a waiting time, but like you said, it's on His time, not our time.
That's one thing I learned, man.
Patience.
Good thing, and you, it's life's about the journey.
Yes.
Not the destination. We know the destination.
Yes.
Hey, Calvary, here I come.
Yeah.
Calvary Cemetery is where I'll be.
Right.
But until
and then
then,
you'll come back
it's
and
all
talk to
about the
Vicki.
journey. All about. Well, no.
You'll see Vicki again.
Like I'm sure. I don't know. Like I used to tell my kids since they were babies, but I tell them not to. When it's time for me, don't mourn me. Mourn me for the 3 days. Mourn me, but then celebrate me.
Right.
Celebrate me. But no, I'm always going to be with you. I'm never going to be away from you. I believe in that. I believe that God, Lord, lets us be with our loved ones, and energy. And I believe I will always be with you. So, I think that movie Ghost, with Patrick Swayze,
yes.
and then more, they hit a lot of nerves for people, man. That was the whole thing. That the negative energy, the ghosts that were out there, and he had the power to send them away, and then. Until he found how to cross over to become that. It's entertainment, don't get me wrong. But I do believe that we can, when we open ourselves up, feel the energy or feel the voice of others. Does that make sense?
No, I totally. You have to be open to it, right?
Yeah, you have
But
to
you got to be
open
open to it, and you got to open your heart.
They leave
Go
signals.
with your
They're
gut
supposed to be
feeling.
leaving
Yes,
signals.
Yes.
For us.
I believe our family members, loved ones in heaven watch over us, and they do take care of us and become our guardian angels. I do believe in that. So, but you got to have faith, man. You got to believe. You can't tap dance. You can't half-ass believe.
You got to full force believe.
You got to believe totally, unconditionally, and it's like when you're in love, right? You can't be you're in love all the way, not some of the way,
Or no way.
Or no way.
That's right. That's right.
All right, man.
Many
I'm
blessings
exhausted, man.
for everyone
Thank
here
you,
today.
You too.
Thank
too,
you,
Vicki.
Vicki.
Thank you.
God willing, and God use your gift for the right reasons and for the betterment of others.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
If you're interested, like I said, give us your feedback on the station. I'd really like to hear you guys or read about some of the comments you make. I know a lot of people go, they're going to make comments, but that's
sure.
okay. We're open to it all. Maybe we're open to
We
it all.
don't judge.
No.
And I hope
no.
they don't judge us.
No. But until next time, next Tuesday, I think we're going to have my again, Chris Myers on.
Come on.
Chris Myers. Chris is coming on. My announcing partner for the last several months on FS1 and in the studio for when I do Fox shows. But now we're going to football, so we will lose him for the remainder of this year and start up again next year. But he will be our guest and some of the best stories. And I call him Shecky Myers. Funny guy.
He's talented.
But and he'll tell us about the story. He was the first one to interview OJ after OJ got off.
Wow.
Trial. First one to interview him. Interesting. And other stories of that. So till next week, we'll have Chris Myers. I hope you'll watch us around this time next week. But until then, take care of each other, love each other. Good night and God bless.